I asked 30 divorced women one question: what actually ended your marriage? Not the reason you tell people, the real one. And almost all of them paused before answering, because the truth wasn't one big moment. It was something they had been living with for years. One woman said something I haven't forgotten. If I had fixed this earlier, I wouldn't be divorced today. That's when I started noticing a pattern: different lives, different stories, but the same quiet mistake, showing up again and again. The first one, they stopped speaking honestly and called it peace. I spoke to a woman named Sharon, married for 28 years. She said, "We didn't fight anymore, so I thought we were okay." But when I asked what changed, she admitted something deeper. She had stopped expressing what she felt, not because it didn't matter, because she didn't want conflict, didn't want to upset him, didn't want tension in the house, so she stayed quiet about small things, then bigger ones, until one day, she wasn't sharing anything real anymore. And here's the part that hurts. He didn't know what she was feeling, so he couldn't respond to it. And slowly, they stopped understanding each other, not loudly, quietly. That's the mistake. Silence that feels like peace, but slowly creates distance. So what would she do differently? She told me I would speak earlier, not louder, not everything, not all at once, just the truth, before it builds. Because once feelings turn into silence, they don't disappear. They turn into distance. And by the time you notice, it's already too wide to cross. The second mistake didn't look serious either. Most of them called it just life. Getting busy, work, kids, responsibilities. Everything felt important. And the relationship? It slowly moved to the background. I spoke to a woman named Denise. She said, "We were always doing things, just not with each other." That difference matters. Because from the outside, everything looked fine. House running, life moving, no big problems. But when I asked her what they actually shared, she went quiet. No regular time together, no intentional moments, just passing each other between responsibilities. And that's where it starts. Not with conflict, with absence. She told me something that stayed with me. One day, we finally had time and didn't know what to do together. That's not about time. That's about disconnection. Because connection doesn't stay on its own. It needs attention. And when that attention disappears, so does the bond. Quietly, that's the mistake. Assuming love will hold without daily effort. So what would she change? Not something big, something simple. She said, I would protect small moments before they disappear. A walk, a short conversation, even 10 minutes without distraction. Because it's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with it. And if you don't choose each other daily, you slowly stop knowing each other at all. And once that happens, coming back feels harder than starting over. The third mistake, almost all of them said with a sigh, I thought he knew she cared, knew she appreciated him, knew what he meant to her. So she stopped saying it, not intentionally, just over time. I spoke to a woman named Teresa. She told me, I showed it in my actions, I just didn't say it anymore. At first, nothing changed. Life went on, meals were made, things were handled, everything looked normal. But something underneath was fading. I asked her when she noticed it. She said, when he stopped sharing his small wins with me. That's the moment. Because people don't stop sharing big things first. They stop sharing the small ones. And that's where connection lives. She didn't ignore him. She just stopped expressing appreciation. And what isn't expressed slowly stops being felt. That's the mistake. Assuming love doesn't need to be spoken anymore. So what would she do differently? She didn't say anything dramatic. She said, "I would say it, even when it feels obvious." A simple acknowledgement, a specific appreciation, not once in a while, regularly. Because appreciation isn't about reminding him, it's about maintaining the connection. And when that disappears, so does the reason to keep showing up the same way. Because after years together, people don't leave because love is gone. They leave because they stopped feeling it. And that usually starts in silence. The fourth mistake almost sounded like maturity. I let things go. That's what many of them said. At this stage in life, they didn't want small arguments, didn't want unnecessary tension, so they ignored things, adjusted, stayed calm. From the outside, it looked peaceful, but inside, something was building. I spoke to a woman named Linda. She told me, "I stopped reacting, but I didn't stop feeling." That difference changes everything, because what you ignore doesn't disappear. It stays. And slowly, it changes how you show up. I asked her when she noticed it. She said, "When I started feeling irritated over things I never used to mind." That's not random. That's buildup. Unspoken, unresolved, repeated. And here's what happens next. You don't express it clearly. You express it indirectly, through tone, through distance, through less warmth, and the other person feels it but doesn't understand it. That's the mistake, letting things pile up instead of addressing them early. So what would she change? She said something simple. I would deal with it while it's small. Not everything, not perfectly, just, honestly, one thing at a time, before it becomes something bigger than it needs to be. Because once emotions pile up, you're no longer responding to one moment. You're reacting to everything that came before it, and that's when communication stops being clear. It becomes heavy, confusing, and eventually exhausting. And when that happens, distance doesn't need a reason anymore. It just keeps growing. The fifth mistake, almost all of them struggled to admit because it didn't look like a mistake. It looked like love. I made my life about him. That's what a woman named Carol told me. She said it softly, like she already knew what it cost her. At first, it felt right, being available, adjusting her schedule, putting his needs first. That's what commitment looks like, right? But slowly, something shifted, not in what she did, in what she became. Her world got smaller, her interests faded, her time revolved around him, and without realizing it, she stopped being a separate person. I asked her when she noticed it. She said, "When I had time to myself and didn't know what to do." That moment says everything, because attraction isn't just about closeness, it's about individuality, about having your own energy, your own life, your own presence, and when that disappears, the dynamic changes, not loudly, but enough to be felt. He didn't leave immediately. He just became less engaged, less drawn in, because there was nothing left to discover. That's the mistake, losing yourself in the relationship. So what would she do differently? She said, I would keep my own life alive, not separate, but strong, her own routine, her own interests, her own space, because when you remain whole, you don't have to hold the relationship together. It stays, because both people bring something real into it, and that's what keeps it alive over time. There was one more thing, none of them said directly, but every story pointed to it. They ignored what they felt when it mattered most, not once, repeatedly. A small doubt, a moment of discomfort, a feeling that something wasn't right. And each time they explained it away. It's nothing. I'm overthinking. It will get better. I spoke to a woman named Rachel. She said something that stayed with me. I knew, years before it ended, I just didn't act on it. That's the part that hits hardest, because it's not about what happened at the end. It's about what was felt at the beginning and ignored. That's the mistake, not trusting your own awareness when it first shows up. Because your intuition doesn't disappear. It waits, it repeats, and the longer you ignore it, the louder the consequences become. So what would she do differently? She didn't say she would leave sooner. She said, I would listen sooner. Not react emotionally. Not make sudden decisions. Just pay attention. Ask questions. Address what feels off while it's still small. Because once something grows for years, it doesn't stay manageable. It becomes overwhelming. And by then, you're not fixing one thing. You're facing everything at once. And that's where most people break. So if there's one thing to take from all 30 stories, it's this. The earlier you notice, the easier it is to change. But the longer you ignore, the harder it becomes to come back from it. And by then, it's no longer a mistake. It's a pattern that already cost you everything. If even one line in this felt a little too real, don't push it away this time. Stay with this space, like subscribe and come back. We're just getting started.